Welcome to Legacy Dent Company. My name is Dean, and you are watching this video because you are interested in getting a ceramic coat. Now, before we get into the what and the why of ceramic coating, let's lay a little foundation and talk about the paint that's already on your car. Now, straight from the factory, we've got three basic layers that make up the paint. Your first layer is going to be an e-coat, a primer, something that is going to protect the metal from any kind of rusting. It's also going to act as a bonding agent between the metal and the base coat. Now, your base coat is also known as your color coat. Now, your base coat is highly susceptible to fading and cracking, and that is where your clear coat comes into play. The third layer on your paint is going to be your clear coat. Built into the clear coat is going to be the protection necessary to block out all of those harmful UV rays to give you that long-lasting, rich color and shine. Now, your clear coat, being the outermost layer of your paint, unfortunately takes all of the abuse. Every time we hit the road, we've got micro abrasions, all of the debris from the ground constantly being kicked up, scratching the paint, and improper washing and maintenance also slowly wears away at that clear coat. Now, what happens if your clear coat gets worn out? Well, unfortunately, you get fading, cracking, and if you get any kind of chipping of that paint, being exposed to the weather, the metal will begin to rust. Now, for yourself, not wanting to experience any of that at all, you are getting proactive. Putting a ceramic coat on your clear coat is going to give you a huge advantage. Now, what is ceramic coat? Now, the ceramic coat is a silica-based liquid polymer that, when applied to a surface, becomes the new sacrificial layer for your paint. Now, this layer is highly resistant to solvents, alkalines, acids, UV rays, harsh weather conditions, and even corrosion. And if maintained properly, this nanotechnology will last you years in comparison to waxes and sealants that may only give you weeks or months of protection. Now, in this vial, we have a liquid carrying agent in a highly concentrated form of SiO2, which is going to be the chemical that crystallizes, bonds to your clear coat, and becomes the new armor. Now, I call it a layer of armor because most ceramic coating is going to be a 9H or 10H on the hardness scale, extremely durable and very hydrophobic, which is going to reject any kind of weathering from settling on the panels, and it's a huge benefit when it comes to washing and maintenance of your paint. Now, before we can even lay down the ceramic coat, we got quite a bit of prep to do, so let's get into this. All right, first things first, exterior detail. We want to get every surface squeaky clean. We want to make sure that we strip all pre-existing waxes, sealants, and dressings to give our coating the cleanest surface to bond to. Now, this particular customer is getting a 3-year ceramic on the paint, a sealant on the wheels, and a graphene coating on the rear glass cover. But you want to make sure that you talk to your local detailer about all of the options out there. They make a coating for virtually every surface inside and out of your vehicle. I personally like to start with the wheels and tires. They're typically the dirtiest part of the vehicle, and I like to attack the brake dust and buildup before washing the paint so I don't get any fleeing in the process. As we get into the painted panels, I do not want to introduce any new scratches or swirls into the clear coat before I have a chance to bring it inside and start the polishing phase. So I'm going to apply an all-purpose cleaner through a foam sprayer and treat the lower portions of the panels that tend to gather up all of the road grime and tar and buildup. Then I'm going to apply a pre-soak foam that is not only going to grab all of the dirt and debris on the surfaces and pull them down, but we're going to start breaking up those waxes and sealants that the customer uses on their regular wash routine. Now, because of how aggressive this pre-soak foam is on the pH scale, I'm going to take advantage of this, take a soft bristled brush, and I'm going to hit all of the seals around the windows and the cracks of the taillights where I know there's some dirt that's stubborn and built up. All right, now before we get into decontamination, this last step of the exterior wash process is going to be with a more pH neutral soap, something with a little more lubricity that's now going to allow me to make contact with the microfiber pad, really driving home the goal of removing any remaining waxes and sealants from the surface. All right, so at this step in the process, we would do a decontamination and clay bar treatment. This particular vehicle is garage kept, so there's not a lot of industrial fallout and particles embedded into the paint. The washing we've done so far has gotten this baby squeaky clean, literally. There's no need for any decontamination or clay bar on this particular vehicle. But if we were to have to decontaminate, let me show you what that looks like. All right, so I'm gonna wipe down this panel real quick. Even after we wash our cars, going through a car wash or washing it by hand at home, what we don't see is the deep embedded industrial fallout, irons and brake dust. These metals really get down into the pores and cling onto the paint. We don't see them, but a spray like an iron spray will get down into the pores, agitate and break up that metal, and what you're going to see is this spray, everywhere where it's making contact with metal in the pores, it's going to turn purple. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that I see detailers make is not properly cleaning and decontaminating their paint first before they polish. Then when they go to polish, their polishing pad will pick up all these little metals in the paint and then cause swirl marks and that hologram effect in the clear coat. And it can make polishing really intimidating. But I'll tell you, even somebody who has halfway decent polishing technique is gonna have great results if they'll just learn to clean and decontaminate the paint ahead of time. All right, now the last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna towel dry all of the panels. Then I'm gonna use a handheld blower and I'm gonna blow out all of the little cracks and crevices and seams. We'll really wanna make sure that this is as dry as possible. Any water that's left behind that may run during the application of the ceramic will not allow the ceramic to cure properly. And this is what we're left with. She's nice and clean, squeaky clean, looking pretty, ready to polish, ready to coat. Now before we go any further, I highly suggest looking into getting your dents and dings fixed before we lay down the ceramic coat. If you're coming to me, I can speak for me and my shop. If you're gonna group and make a package deal of fixing dents and dings and getting ceramic coating, you're gonna get a discount. If you come to me separate with just some dents and dings to fix, I'm gonna charge a little bit more. Since it's already in-house, let's go ahead and get you a discount, knock out these dents and dings. You can see that I'm hammering on the panel here. What we do not want to do is lay down the ceramic and then go and fix your dents and dings later. I don't want to compromise making any impact on the panels that already have ceramic on it. So let's get these dents and dings knocked out before we lay down the ceramic. Another thing I suggest is let's game plan ahead of time. Let's call your dealer or the paint that you used in the past. Let's get some proper paint ordered up so we can fill in and touch up all of your paint chips. What we don't want to do is lay down paint on top of the ceramic coat. So while we have it in, we're fixing the dents and dings. Let's go ahead and get some paint ordered so we have some straight to metal contact with the paint. Then we can lay the ceramic over the paint, which is going to just give you even more protection for any kind of touch up that we do. Alright, now that we've got the exterior cleaned up, all of the dents and dings are pushed out, and all of the rock chips have been touched up, it's now time to move into the interior. and do our interior detail. All of my ceramic packages include at least a basic interior detail. At this point, if you wanted to upgrade, we could also coat and protect your leathers, your vinyls, your plastics, your glass, your carpet, your upholstery. Not only is it going to lock in that look longer from factory, but the biggest value is going to be in your maintenance. Those high traffic areas that tend to build up fingerprints, oils, makeup, any kind of spills on your carpet or upholstery become a lot more manageable if you have some sort of protectant or coating.
All right, now at this stage of the project, we've got clean panels, we've got all of the plastic and rubbers covered. We don't want to get any polish or compound on any of the trim. It's just a little more difficult and time consuming to remove it. So just to nip that in the bud, I like to cover everything up. So we're just focusing on the paint. Now when the vehicle first gets to the shop, we're going to be addressing any little dents and dings that could be taken care of, any kind of rock chips that we can fill before we lay down the ceramic. And then of course we need to evaluate the condition of the clear coat. So we're going to take one of these color match lights here, come up to your paint and get an idea of what's going on. So it looks like we've got some small scratches and swirls. You can see in the reflection around the light there, those little reflections look like spider web, little hazing, little scratches. That right there are imperfections in your clear coat. Those are going to happen in our daily drive. Those are going to happen going through a car wash, and that's pretty much what this looks like. These are pretty light scratches that are easily removed with a paint enhancement, but these little scratches come from going through a car wash or using a little bit harsher microfiber towel that doesn't have a good blend. So that's how we get these little scratches. Now what exactly is a paint enhancement and what's a paint correction?
All right, real quick, what's the difference between a paint enhancement and a paint correction? Well, if I was able to take a cross-cut section of your paint and look at it this way, we would have our metal layer at the bottom. We would on top of that have a thin layer of primer or e-coat. Our next layer would be our color coat or our base coat. And then on top of that, we would have our clear coat, which is a lot thicker layer. It takes all of the abuse from the daily grind, the daily driving, going through car washes. It also protects the color coat from with UV protection, but this clear coat is not going to be straight across like our color coat. All of that interaction in the driving and car washes is slowly introducing scratches into the clear coat. And if you took that cross-cut section, this is what it would look like. It would look like little bitty valleys, little peaks and valleys. Fortunately, if you're going through car washes, I know it's not appealing to see all of those scratches and swirls, but most of them are just like at this layer, at this level right here. They're just minor imperfections in the clear coat. When you get a rock chip, that's when you start getting deeper imperfections that go past the color coat and exposing down to the metal. And in these, we would want to put touch-up paint right there to fill those in. But for the most part, a daily driven vehicle is in this section right here of imperfections. And I'm telling you, about 90% of my customers will pick an enhancement over a paint correction. Now, what's gonna be the best thing for you? An enhancement is gonna be one pass with a polisher, with a pad and a polish, leveling down this clear coat. So that's what we're doing when we polish. We're basically leveling the clear coat down. And because we level that clear coat, it's going to get rid of most imperfections in the clear coat. These imperfections, when the sun comes down and reflects and bends into these little peaks and valleys, and then they come back to us, visually that's what the scratches, that's what looks like scratches to us, these little peaks and valleys that the light comes down in. Now, if you level these out and the light is able to go all the way through the clear coat down to the color coat and back up, that's where you get that deep, rich color that we're seeing visually. Enhancement is going to get rid of about 90%, 80 to 90% of your imperfections. Now, if you're looking to get this showroom ready, showroom quality, you either bought a vehicle that had a ton of imperfections that you really want to make an attempt to improve as much as possible, or you're about to resell it, then we start talking about paint correction. And that really refers to not just one pass, but now we're making 2, possibly 3 passes with our polisher to get rid of as many imperfections as possible. But you do need to make a choice if you're going to go with an enhancement versus a correction, because once the ceramic is applied to the paint, it's locking it in. It's extremely difficult to remove a quality ceramic coat, so we want to make sure that we make the right choice.
All right, let me give you a quick example of what the enhancement's going to look like. We're going to do a quick 50-50. We're going to use a medium pad, fine cut polish, make a couple of passes here. Most of my customers really do like the improvement in the clear coat at this point. I'm going to remove the tape. I'm going to put the light on the side that has the fine swirls and scratches in it. We're going to move to the side, and even after one pass, you can see the clarity that happens in the paint on just an enhancement. Most customers are very happy with that improvement. From there, we can just lock it in with the ceramic, and you're going to have that look for years to come. Alright, now that we've wrapped up the polishing, it's time to finish up the exterior detail. At this point, I'm going to be dressing the wheels and the tires and all of the plastic trim. Take notice that as I dress the plastic trim, I've got some overspray from that dressing onto the paint. At the end of every detail, glass is last. That's how I look at it, whether it's a ceramic coating or a regular detail. And if you're not purchasing a glass coating, I like to wipe down as a courtesy your glass with PNS bead maker. It's going to create some more hydrophobic properties to the glass, easier to maintain in the future. Lastly here, I'm going to take an alcohol wipe and wipe all of the panels. That overspray that we had from the plastic dressing and the tire dressing is now going to get removed. I want to make sure that the ceramic is the absolute last product that I apply to the vehicle. I cannot have any kind of dressings or coatings introduced into the ceramic as it's curing. So we're just finishing up the detail here to make the vehicle nice and presentable. And then the ceramic is the absolute last product. My customers mean the world to me. I'm always extremely grateful for their business. I always try to find something during a detail or a coating that I can give for free, something that I can coat, maybe extra cleaning somewhere, but I always like to give some sort of gift within each package. This particular customer is going to be getting a free graphene infused ceramic coating for his back glass cover.
All right, we are almost at the finish line. We're on the last lap. It's now time to apply the ceramic coat. One last wipe down with the panel wipe, which is an isopropyl alcohol mix from the company that makes the ceramic. That way we make sure we have good chemistry between the last product to hit the panel right before the ceramic coating. We're going to take some ceramic. We're going to go ahead and prime our pad and get ready for our first coat. Take notice that as we apply it, we're going to do this in a crosshatch manner, but it almost looks like fingernail polish. It's got a thick consistency to it, but we are almost done. At this point, once you apply it, it's kind of a matter of technique from the detailer now. We've got to keep an eye on the product. The carrying agent and the ceramic, the SiO2, are going to separate. So after we wipe the panel, we almost, in this Texas heat, have to immediately wipe it back down, but it'll look like it's sweating. That'll give me an idea that it's separated. I can now safely wipe away the carrying agent. The ceramic is now bonded to the paint. One last buff. And now it's time to move on and do the rest of the vehicle. So like I was saying at the beginning of the video, this layer is extremely hydrophobic. The next time it rains, the next time you wash your car, you're gonna see the water bead up and fall right off the panels. In fact, the first time you get your vehicle back after being coated, the touch of the paint is gonna blow your mind. It's gonna be buttery smooth, silky smooth. And the ceramic coating is a great investment. And I mean that literally. Look, you could come to me every week for a detail, and I'm gonna do my absolute best to help you maintain and enjoy your vehicle. But ceramic coating is the only package that I offer that you can literally report to your VIN number and adds value to the ticket when you go to trade or sell your vehicle down the road. And to my legacy family, thank you so much for all the love and support. Thank God for you every day. Now if you like this video, then like this video. Get down in the comments section down below, make some friends, share some knowledge. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, hit it, ring the bell. Got a lot of plans for the future of this channel. God bless.